So here I was working on a 2017 Lincoln MKZ with a 3.0 liter engine, and the problem the customer was having was he had no AC. And when I scanned it, I found this code. Okay, and what that code is, it's a variable AC compressor control circuit. So here's the code, P06A0. And what I want to try to explain is, before you even try to diagnose it, you want to understand how this system works. It's not a normal AC compressor. It just turns on and turns off. It's a variable. So basically what happens is your AC clutch is connected to a shaft that's connected to a wobble plate, and then the pistons are connected to that wobble plate. Now, if that AC clutch is spinning, but the control valve isn't controlling the angle of that wobble plate, no pressure will be produced. The wobble plate needs to be at an angle when it's spinning so the pistons go up and down. And when they go up and down, then pressure will be made. But if the wobble plate isn't at an angle, no pressure will be produced because the pistons are not moving up and down. If the wobble plate is at a 90-degree angle, the pistons will stay in place and not move up and down, meaning no pressure will be produced. And that's what messes up a lot of guys. They'll see the AC compressor clutch spinning, and then they'll hook up their gauges and say, oh, well, no pressure is being produced, the compressor is bad. But it's not that the compressor is bad, it's that, we just don't understand how the system works. So before I started to tear down anything, I wanted to look at some PIDs on my scan tool, and I didn't take any pictures of it because I forgot, but from what I remember, this PID 90 current of the AC compressor was at 0.005. As for the other PIDs, I don't really remember, but I do remember that PID right there. And this is what it's supposed to look like. It's not supposed to stay at one steady number. It's supposed to be fluctuating. So, all right, here's a couple possible things that could be wrong: the compressor, the clutch, low refrigerant, whatever, PCM. Here's a couple of things you can do: check the fuses, check to see if the AC compressor is running, yada yada. So the way the system works is, and it'll be easier to show. So this is your schematic for the AC system. You have your AC compressor, and then you have this VACC, or air conditioning compressor control circuit. But this is the variable displacement circuit, and the code pertains to this circuit. All right. So here what I want to show is, even though your AC clutch is spinning, there's no pressures being produced. All right, AC clutch is spinning, and I'm gonna show the machine right now that both high and low are at 110. And even though when I installed the new AC compressor and I had the VACC circuit disconnected, it was still spinning. All right, so what you want to do is what I did. This is for the auto, by the way. So the auto has a green white wire, and there's a different one for the manual, and I'll provide pictures at the end of everything, but it's a different color wire. It's a gray yellow, but for me it was this one. So what I did was I connected a test light to a body ground, and then I tested this connector, or this wire, and my test light lit up. So that told me this fuse was okay, this wire was okay. And then next I did connected my test light to a battery positive and check this wire and see if my test light would light up, and it wouldn't. So basically what the PCM is doing is it's grounding this, and this wire, all right, I wasn't getting my ground basically. So what I did was, to test it, I went to this connector C146, because that's the middle, right? So I went there, and I'll show pictures of what happened. So basically what was happening was this wire was corroded, and that's what was causing the code. So C146 is right here, all right? It's in front of the driver's side tire, and you're gonna have to pull back the wheel well to get to this connector. And it's a poorly placed connector because it's very exposed to the environment. And as you can see, I'll show pictures of it, and I'll show a little video. It's very corroded. It looks like maybe like a rodent got in there and bit some of the wires. But the problem was that in the middle of this connector, it was super corroded. All right. So this white with brown wire is this one right here, number 10. This is looking at it if the connector was opened. All right, if you're looking at it from the inside of it with the pins. So 10 is white and brown. All right, and like I said, the problem was I couldn't even open this thing. So because it was so corroded, we had to just replace the whole thing. The customer didn't want to do that just yet. He said he would bring it back when we could. He just wanted AC for the while. For the meanwhile. So that's what we did for him. But the problem was, because I was opening this up, or trying to, some of these pins also lost contact. So what happened is I fixed this. This started to work, but then this side of this AC compressor stopped working. And it stopped working because this ground is also part of C146. So anytime I would squeeze the connector, the compressor would kick on. But if I would let it go, it would kick off. So this ground wire also goes to C146. All right. So, and what happened was, it looked like they chewed on the ground wire, but also the connection, the inside of the connection was so crusty, so bad, that it didn't matter. Even when I fixed all that, this was still unplugging and plugging in. So if you have no AC, check that C146 connector. It might not be the specific wires that I have, but it could be like one of these. So hopefully that helps you out. Now, what I failed to notice is when I was doing this diag, I didn't notice that actually all 4 of these wires, the powers and the grounds for the AC compressor and the solenoid, they all go to C146. So I actually fixed some of those wires without knowing, but that brown and white wire were the one that was causing the code. So if you don't have AC, you probably won't even get a code, but still check this C146, because you probably had the same problem I did. Another problem I ended up having is that the connector at the compressor was also corroded. So there's another problem that you might have, and I left the part number there. But if you're going to get to that connector to the AC compressor and start doing testing, you're going to have to remove the tensioner, which is 2 10mm bolts. And it's pretty easy, but as you can see, I had corrosion there. So that's another problem that I ended up having, and a problem you might end up having if you don't have a code and you just have no AC. Now, for the last part of this video, I'm just going to leave up some pictures and information that helped me diagnose this car properly, like the ohms of the solenoid, which is supposed to be 11.2, and this is off the new one, the new compressor from Ford, and this is the AC clutch, 4.1 ohms, and this is me testing the old one, which is 4.2, and I even tested the AC clutch to see if it would click on or off with a battery from one of my tools. So hopefully this helps you out, anyone who has this car and has no AC, and good luck. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. So thanks.